underneath, and I don't think I'm live right now either. I'm not seeing it. Holy shit! Is that me on? I've never looked at myself on Twitch. I look like I have a really glassy forehead. Well, I do have some cream on my face because I did get talking about this live on fucking Twitch. Hold on here. Sorry about that. I lost the show. My my cat just like ripped out. I'm like talking about my daughter. My daughter's here still. She's on the phone right now. I lost like as we were squeezing, I like lost power, and my cat like ripped out a big giant power bank strip thing. And so my stream is gone, and it reset my camera, so I'm having issues with that too. I'm having issues with my camera because it's a like Sony A7000, so if it loses actual power, it forgets all of its settings. So I quickly had to put the settings back on, like the f-stops and the ISO and whatever the other thing is called, f-stops, ISO, and whatever the other one was. Yeah, it's like 1/50 or something. I forget what it's called. It's just a math. It's like, I don't know, it's whatever. Okay, so hold on, I am live here. I never looked at myself I've never like looked at myself on a full screen with my face on Twitch. I look like a fucking weirdo. Look at me. And I got my weirdo glasses on too. Hold on 1 second. We're gonna wait a minute. I did that wrong. Trying to get this shit back up as quickly as I can. Josie, are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, so are you seeing cornfields yet?
Yes, and soybean fields.
Oh, you're seeing soybean fields too. I was gonna ask you if they saw was it alfalfa or soybeans being grown?
Yeah. Corn with the sorghum.
Oh, sorghum. Is
We
the
can't tell. We can't tell if it's sorghum or corn. I think it's corn.
are they are they planting anything in the ranch, or is it all what are they raising, and what are they growing and raising right now in the ranch?
Nothing. Just grazing cows. But I have to go because we're gonna order food.
Okay, call me back. So you're good right now, right? Oh, she just hung up on me. See, she doesn't love me. This girl does not love me. She needs something though. She doesn't hang up on me. No, that's not how it goes. Wait, hold on a second here. Oh, you are a mechanic? Well, so she's driving. I got her a new engine. I bought her a car. I bought her a Subaru Outback, 2012, I think. And what happened? When I bought it, I figured it wasn't the best car in the world. And like a week or two later, it started overheating or something. I think I think that the lot that sold it to me did a quick fix on the on a head gasket, and so I was pissed off about it, but I kind of expected something to happen to the car. So what I did was I got her a new engine. And all I said to her was this. I was like, look, I can get you a Honda, or I can get you a Toyota, I can get you a Subaru. What do you want? So I got her the Subaru because it's Outback and it goes off road, all that kind of stuff. And I said to her, I was like, well, I was like, I'll get you the new engine. I was like, I'll get you a new engine. I kind of figured I would have to. I was like, if I have to get you a transmission, I will, but I'll get you this, like, the car should be able to last you through college. And like originally I was going to get like a fucking, which one it's called. It's like the Honda that's the EV. It's got a small motor in it. And you have to replace the batteries, replace the engine. So I didn't really care if I had to replace either of those two things. And I got a killer mechanic. My mechanic is like, I've been like, I'm a loyal guy. And so like I've been loyal to my mechanic since I moved here to Detroit. He's made a lot of money off me over the years. But I do everything through this guy. Like the thing is that I I probably put one of his kids through college or something. And like those relationships matter to me, like I think loyalty matters, and I think at any rate. so many years have passed now. He treats me really well. And he was like, well, for the engine, it was like, I think it was $3,500. And then he was like, for a transmission, like 2,500, $3,000. And he would put in like a little bit better of a transmission, a little bit better of an engine. But they're still four bangers. They're like, the Subaru engine is small. It's a tiny ass engine. So, sorry, I'm looking back and forth because on one screen, my screen is really light, and the other screen, it's really dark. I think it's the screen that I look like shit on that's a shitty monitor. And I'm going blurry right now, too. You see that? This is because the ratio is wrong. Hang tight a second here. Hang tighter, guys. So let's go back over here and take a look at this chart. I'm so sorry, guys. Hold on. Let's go to the main screen. Maybe. Okay, so we're back. Okay, this is good. Now, I have closed my calls, just so you know. I did close them. The first thing I did when the power came back on was like slam the close button because I had no way to trade. I am looking to roll into more calls for tomorrow instead of today. Let's put these up here. So this car, right? The car is awesome. But the car is the kind of car where, like, if I sit in it, my wife sits in there, and the two kids sit in there, and then let's say we go to, like, a Home Depot and grab some soil. The car, like, the transmission will tend to overheat. It's a small-ass engine. Like, these cars are built like you can do anything, but you really can't. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, they're built to, like, go off-roading, do cool shit, but at the same time, it's still a fucking four-cylinder engine. So you can only do so much with a four-cylinder engine. So my daughter went out to our family reunion in Montana. It's Spielman Family Reunion, Spielman Ranch. That's my family, a big family. They've been out there forever. They got roads named after my family out there. Okay, and Ekalaka, it's in Ekalaka, Montana, which is the loneliest place in the United States. So she was going out there for a family reunion, and I was like, take your car. And what wound up happening was she went with some other family, like showed up like to meet up and then drive out there together. And she ended up having like fucking 5 people in the car, all their luggage and shit, kids and teenagers, young 20-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 25-year-olds, shit like that. So she gets in the car with all these kids. They drive out to Montana, and my daughter is still 19 years old. So she does the things like, no, daddy, I don't do that. Then she does them. Remember the time when she drove the car into a tree pole, or she drove my car, I think, into backed up into a fucking, I swore, backed up into a light post or something, then put it back in drive and then like ripped the side off, the quarter panels off the truck, the Cadillac Escalade that I have. So I got her own car. And she taxes this thing, you know. She'll like drive over big mountains, and she'll punch it going 90. And when you get out to Montana, people drive 90 miles an hour. If you've never been in the West, people drive like 90 miles an hour. And so I'm assuming that's what she was doing. So she gets out to the family reunion thing. She's like, I got these little lights showing and stuff. And from what I could gather from being so far away, and there's no mechanics there, there's no nothing, I was like, it's got to be you're overheating the transmission or something. So I was like, you know, you're driving through a heat wave with 5 people in the car in the middle of the daytime, going, 12-hour drive. I'm like, this car is it's older. And so she had a transmission light come on, but the transmission light left. And so I think she's just running it hard. Now she did complain that she had no lights. You're a mechanic out there. Now she said the lights are back on or something. So it could be and she had another light that was flashing that was like an electrical problem. I'm assuming there's a sensor or something that's bad in this car. I don't know if I have to buy her a transmission, but I'll buy it for her. Like, if I could get her like a new engine, new transmission in this 2012 Subaru, they're tanks. They run forever. They're cheap to fix. They're easy to work on. It's her first car. I do kick myself that I didn't get her the Honda that's the hybrid, whatever that thing is called. It's got like a little, looks like, I don't know. It's kind of weird looking. But anyways, I wish I'd gotten her a Honda or a Toyota, and I didn't. I won't make that mistake for the younger one. But even so, she likes the car. She loves it. It's her first car. I kind of assumed when I got it for her that I was going to light that fucking thing on fire one way or another. She was going to kill it or crash it. So I was like, she's in a Subaru. It's got a good safety record. It's older. She can learn how to make mistakes driving when I'm not there. And she kind of drives like her mom. And her mom does that kind of shit. I shouldn't say that, but okay. So forget what I'm talking about here. Okay, time out. We're looking to roll into another long into. Oh, hold on. I'm getting a call back again. She's calling me back. Daddy's here. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, did you get food?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a mechanic. Like, there's a lot of people watching this show every day. There's like, thousands of people. So I'm calling. I'm asking you while you're on the phone with me while I'm on the show because I'm not there and you're in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing there. Like, she's literally in the middle of nowhere right now. Mommy said that you texted and said I'm losing lights or something, or
No.
was it misunderstood that the lights are off when you were driving? What lights were on when you were driving?
When we started the car this morning, there was one light on,
What light?
and it was the anti-skid one or whatever, like when you drive in like snow or ice.
Okay, anti-skid.
And then that was the only one that was on. And then it must have went away when
Is there like a transmission temperature gauge or anything like that? Someone's
Nope.
asking. Oh yeah. Hey, can you send me a picture of the dashboard?
Sure.
Are there any lights on right now?
No.
Yeah, I just think you're running it hard. She says there's no lights on right now, so she didn't even have to reset it or anything. No one reset the lights. I think you were just running it hard.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, if any more lights come on, can you please call me?
Yeah.
Heavy D is saying anti-skid ABS light won't hurt anything if it shuts off or it's bad.
Okay.
Thanks. Hey, you know what I got? I do have a picture from when the original lights were on. I will show it here in the show in just a second. All right, I love you, baby.
Love you,
Remember,
bye.
just drive safe. Don't text a car. Don't be driving fucking 90 up a hill and shit like that. Okay?
Yep.
I love you.
Love you too.
Where's Maggie Do?
Bye. Just in the back.
Can you tell her I love her?
Maggie.
And can you tell your grandmother that she's more beautiful than her daughter? All right?
Yep.
Love you. Bye.
Love you too.
All right, bye-bye. God damn, gotta tell her grandmother she's hotter than her daughter. Goddamn fucking women. That one right here. Should we just start loading now and say fuck it? I mean, they're gonna fucking try to sell this shit in the middle of the day tomorrow, right? Should I just go long? Or how about we start a position for tomorrow? I just made bank on that fucking trade. SPY. Here. All right, so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to get a pic. She did send one to my wife, I think. I'm going to try to have it emailed to me, and then I'll post it on the show here. I live with a bunch of women. They think that they think they're the boss. I think they're like the smartest, and I'm like I got people around me.
Yeah.
Hey, did Josie send you pictures of the lights on her car, like last night or something, or no?
No.
I thought I said send me.
yes, she did.
I swore I said take a picture of that dashboard and send it to me. Didn't I say that? Am I going crazy?
I
Was I talking to myself?
She might have said it, but I can't
Can you
remember.
just see if she sent you a picture of the lights like the night before when she jumped in the hotel or whatever, stayed at the hotel? All right, I love you. Bye. Send it to my email. I want to show it to the dudes in the show. We got mechanics in the audience. Oh, I did just hang up on her. See that? I just did exactly what my daughter did to me. These fucking kids don't fall far from the tree. Okay, so we took the number 4 out here. We're looking to take this one out right here. And I want you to remember these two right here. This is on the day, right? So I want you to pay close attention to these two Ds right here. There could be like this thing where we like just barely graze that shit and then roll down. And then the close on the day is up here on these two. Just be aware of that. We might not even do this one, but just be aware that there's a little bit of like, oh yeah, you tick that one, come back down, take that out, then come back up here, take that shit out. So if you're trying to roll into tomorrow, as my point, let's say you like roll into tomorrow and you're up here like, I'm making money for tomorrow, and then all of a sudden they're down here. And you're like, God damn it, I should have been patient and waited. David AMS comes in up here, starts attacking you, and he's like, he's got his golden nugget shit, and then you can finally buy. Just be aware of this kind of stuff right here. And this is to close. I want to see this like. We already hit this one down here, so we don't have to worry about that. So it's more a matter of just this up here. Push that one up. And I also want you to be careful of this down move too. I want to show you something else. And I'll get the pictures, bro. My wife's gonna send them to me right now. I haven't seen them. Oh wait, I'm in the wrong place. Top right. That's the wrong fucking place right there. Wait a minute. I'm in top right, and I'm showing the wrong screen. All the screens are messed up. Nope, that's not it. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it right there. So I do want to show you this. There is one more thing I want to remind you of. Today is still Monday. There's a Monday 0-date pin that drags in the market. And I also want to show you this right here. Do you see this half-an-hour trigger crossing? It's very bullish. Even though it is sometimes on the cross, on this cross right here, when this happens, sometimes it can be very bullish like we just squeeze. But oftentimes we'll do like a quick retrace and then in a monster move higher. So this is that 2 o'clock, 1:30, 2 o'clock flush if we get it today. Just be aware of it, that it's there. It may not happen. So if you're trying to get long here, just be able to plan for, or don't be surprised if you see something where it's like, we pop up here and then blood down here. Or we just start rolling down here. And the real dip buy is somewhere down in here. There's a couple other places down here too. There's this one right here. It's basically just down in here if we can get this in here. We are above the 1 minute trigger, so it's still bullish. They are the boss. I know they're the boss. Like my youngest is like calling my wife about this because she wants to do the girl power thing. And I'm like, why isn't she calling daddy? And I'm saying that because like if the car blows up, like who the fuck are they going to call? They're going to call me. Like, Daddy, I need an airline ticket from the middle of nowhere. Daddy, I need a rental car. Oh, Daddy, I left the car behind. You gotta go get it. Pay for it. Some mechanic's like, oh, you're getting fucked, buddy. Let's watch this 4 right here. Like, and I remember like when I had kids, like, I was talking to a buddy about this last night because he's got a son and a daughter, and like his son gravitates towards him, and his wife or his daughter gravitates towards his wife, and we were discussing over the weekend, like, what do you do? Like, do you like force the daughter to spend more time with you, or do you just support her and the time she's spending with her mom and stuff? And the same thing with a son, right? And I was talking to my buddy about my 2 daughters, and I was like, like my oldest was like 7, 8, 9, and played soccer, and that's what I played. And she was 9 years old, and she got hit in the face really bad with a soccer ball, like a line drive to the face, like face blew up. She was meltdown crying, and she was like, "Daddy, I don't want to do this anymore." And it broke my heart. It really did. It broke my heart. Like I wanted her to be me, right? Like my oldest, she's gonna be a soccer player and all this stuff. And she wound up taking after her mom with track and field and stuff, and that like whatever her mom was doing. And I reinforced that for her. Your mom. Like, I wish I had a son and all that shit, and I have a son. But you should be with your mom, And it's worked out very, very well. But at the same time, now that she's older, she still goes to her mom before her dad until she actually needs something. Until she actually needs me to step in and save her life. So whatever. And they are the boss. You're absolutely correct, Heavy D. I am not the boss of any of that shit. I only ever get the call when they need shit. Like, or in some, like when they fail. It's like, okay, we gotta call Daddy. We fucked this up really bad. Let's just make sure he's not mad at us. Tell him you love him. All right, right here. Look at this. So just trying to take these out right here. Just take a peek at that. Man, they're just floating out here. You see that? We're just kind of floating. Can't see anything here except for us floating. I'm not on any calls right now. I didn't add anything for tomorrow here. This trade might not just. This might be a trade that's just not for me. I might run away on me. I'm kind of waiting down here. I'd like to see the flush. I think I might get left behind. I want to see that sweep down there. There's a fair chance this runs away without me. uh, I can't read what you're saying. Hold on. No, what they can do is that's a good question. I'll explain it here for you if you want. So what sucks here is the first thing that sucks here is just look at this here. So there's like a ping pong action. So you hit this 4 hour So you guys remember we're coming into a new 4 hour, right? So you hit this one right here. Like you tag this 4 hour right here. And then you put the 4 hour bottom candle in for the day. And then you close above the daily here. So you get the green day at the end of the day, right? And then you hit the 46 tomorrow. Does that make sense? I'll just draw it out. Here, I'll make it simple. I don't know if I can make it. Hold on, it should look like this. So what it looks like is this. So like you're tagging this one, you get the flush, and then you close back up here, like just above it on 1600. Makes sense. So you like hit this one. So the four is now gone. Hold on. The 4 is now gone, right? And then you're just left with this one right here. And this one right here. So you've now taken out this 4. This is the only 4 left. So you've taken out that 4, that 4. They flush it, and then we close above this at the close. Now what happens is you get the squeeze tomorrow in the morning. It's like 46. This whole thing happens tomorrow. And then the failure or whatever on Warsh. And you got to remember, Warsh speaks at 9 a.m. on Wednesday. So when you're up here tomorrow, it could be like 10 in the morning, open. If we're up there in the open, if we're up there at like 10 or 12 tomorrow in this vicinity, you'll see traders come in and hedge Warsh up here, whether it's 9 a.m., 10, 12. You get the fade, you make the double top by the end of the day, and then we start dumping into Warsh's speech on Wednesday. So just bear with me for a minute. I'm going to try to give you an outlook right now. It's very early to give an outlook, but okay, am I on the right one? All right, cool. We'll look at this together. I'll do this with you together so that you guys have a better awareness of where we are. Let's take a look at this right here. Let's move back a little bit. Slow everything down. Okay. A big thing we need to look at here is twofold. Now, this candle right here, this is a monthly chart. Let's just start clean. This is a monthly chart. This is a monthly candle. If you look at the wick at the bottom and the wick up here, there's a bunch of information. It's not good information, but there is a bunch of information. We took out, look at that shit. Hold on here. We took out more than 80% of this candle. Okay? And that does open up trading down here. But we did put a new high in on this month. So the new high is the look above that we need to go higher. So that's valid. Okay? We did take out more than 80% of that candle. So there is validity to go down. Believe it or not. There's your 700, and there's your new monthly line right there. Okay? So there's a lot of information here that we need to know. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in this monthly down below. Right here. And we're going to write the letter M here because this is open. And this is kind of the target into the end of July. Right down here. And if I was to make this smaller time frame, you would see a big giant gap that needs filled down here too, right? It's kind of glaring. If you go to a weekly basis, let's go over to a week here. And you're looking at this big push up higher, right? This one right here. Watch my finger thing right here. Up, 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 up. This is good. I like that. See this last little up right here? This is good. So you can't give this up is the point that I'm trying to make on the weekly basis. You cannot give up the week. So when I was talking to you earlier about where do we wind up on fucking Thursday, I also said to you earlier that the following week, if we don't sweep the gap below, they can come back for it in 2 weeks. So, like, where we end up on the end of this week really, really, really matters for July. You understand? So we're going to put this week in here. There's a W. We're going to put another one over here because this is the door to the downside, right? For like a bad July. And this is the trade that I showed you this morning. If you guys didn't watch this morning's show, you should. Went over this twice, these concepts twice. Top line, there is a trade on like 1996, 1997, 1998 in this market. It's almost the exact fucking trade. The outcomes are all over the place, and there's volatility. And even our situation right now is similar. And then the gamma map right now is similar as well. Even though we don't have the gamma map from that time period, when I look at the gamma map, it looks exactly like the price action in all three of those scenarios. When I went back and looked at the news, it was very similar. Same questions, like literally same shit going on in the economy and the fundamentals and all that other stupid fundamentals, in the econ data and on the Federal Reserve and all this other stuff in other countries, all that kind of crap. So anyways, that doesn't really matter. What really matter, go back and watch the show because I went over it 3 different ways. And then the other thing that I wanted to let you know is the streets is not releasing any information about the 90s. They're like, oh, 2021, 2020, oh, it's this and it's that. They don't want to tell you that it's the trade from the 1990s because then you're going to think the market's going to keep fucking mooning. Get long. They're not going to tell you that. They want you to have, they want to sell into you, right? So they don't want you to know that this is what's going on. They want you to be afraid, myopic. They want you to be tunnel vision. They want to warn you and have fear and all this other shit. Even this one guy from Goldman didn't tell you that we have to trade 46, and then if we fail it, depths of hell. He's just saying depths of hell. And you can't say that. He does not have a valid argument unless we fucking fail 46 or around there. And the back test. If we beat it with a look above, like we did on this high tick right here, if we beat it and we have a nice pullback that we can grab, then that argument is dead. So that guy's fucking argument and the rest of these assholes' arguments are fucking invalid. Unless these two things happen, the fucking failure at 46 and the failure to buy the dip. And if there's a look above and a dip buy, you can just burn every fucking thing they wasted their money on. So there isn't really much to say on that topic at this point. Now let's go to a daily basis here. Oh, we have to go back to the week. There's this thing right here. We want to snap this white line in. At 745.63 is a big, big ass, like, no, you shall not pass. And it implies we're going to go higher. On a daily basis, there's a couple more you want to be looking at. So we start looking in here. And there's a couple more in here. There's another one right here. We already know what happens if we beat these, so we're not going to draw in anything here. There's another one right here. There's another one like right here. Let's check these. That's the gap closure. There's this one right here. And this is the big boy right here. This is the daily. That's yellow. This is the daily. That's the daily close for the end of the day. We want to be up here touching these. Right there. Then we want to switch to the 4 hour. And I want to show you this here. So, you know, you come up here and you smash this, right? You smash that and you sweep down, grab that bottom right there, and you get that close. And now you're closing above into the close today. And then what we're doing tomorrow, it's just a matter of where are they going to start hedging us? Somewhere in there. And you also got this stuff coming up here, right? Let's hang tight here. And I want to switch back really quick to the top right because you can kind of see that close, see that this is SPX, SPY's a derivative. We're dragged down to go up. So let's go back over here. We're going to go to, this is a 4-hour. And there's one right here. And there's one right here. Nope. Here. It's yellow. This is the 4. This is the 4. Then we're going to the white one right here. The 1 hour, excuse me. So you can kind of see that a little bit better here, right? And a little bit cleaner. So it looks kind of something like this. This is the outlook for tomorrow. This is 1600. This is the 1 hour you want to be buying in here. And this is how I'm going to show this to you here. We really don't even have to do that. Like we literally do not have to do that. And the close up here. This should be before we get this is so kind of wonky. Hold on here. This is easier to show it. There's your 4. There's your 4 right there. So you tag that one right there, right? You save this one right here. And then you close up there if that makes any sense. So it's like up, down, up. Same trade over here. So you're closing above these 2 Ds into the bell. Remember, this is, so here's your outlook for tomorrow. So you've got Monday, or excuse me. Let's go back to a 30-minute maybe. Here's Tuesday. That's 1600. This is Tuesday, 9:30. Tuesday, let's call it 10:30 because we did 9:30, and then let's do 12:30. So this is all tomorrow, okay? So like, why wouldn't they squeeze it? I'll show it. So you're up here, you take out the day into the close, right? This is the overnight, this is fake futures. So you're trading sideways or whatever, selling it down, I don't care. I don't give a fuck what happens. But you come in, the key point is when you come in tomorrow during cash markets, are we in cash markets up here? because if we're in cash market at 9 a.m. or let's say we come up here, we bump it up in at 10 a.m., they're going to try to sell this. So they try to sell this down. They give you a lower high right here. And then it's, hedge the Kevin Warsh bullshit. How deep does it go? And here's your half-hour trigger right here. Hourly triggers down there. And you can actually see it like you'd have it something like this. So you're like this, right? Down, up over here, down, up, down over there. And if Warsh is bad, you know what it's going to be. We're gonna lose everything. It's going to be fucked. But so I think I'd rather go back to an hour here. And this would be the expectation would be there, right? Down in the overnight. And then an up move here into, let's say, call it 10. You'd even say we're going to go all the way up here and then something down here. Could be like this, could be a high up here. They give you the lower high up here and, just like this, and then down into the close. And the big question here is like, the bigger question here is on Warsh Day, on Wednesday. Does this thing get bought or not? This is a 1 hour, and you can see it right here, right? See the expansion right there? Does this thing hold and we go up into Thursday, Friday? And now we're above the daily trigger, the hourly trigger's right here. You get your second high up here. Or do we wake up on Wednesday and it's, bloodbath and everything is horrible? And it's hard to read this. If you're reading this from the perspective of gamma positioning, both outcomes are probable or possible. If you look at it from a velocity standpoint, it's very bullish. It's not bearish at all. Let's look at this. And when I looked at the prior outcomes of this trade, the three priors, all outcomes were different. It just, the only thing you can take away from it is this volatility. And even if we squeeze and rip faces off, it doesn't make it like it's going to happen all month. Or it could make it that it happens all month, but it's, it introduces a crash. Even if we go up 10%, make a new all-time high in July, it implies that we're going to crash. Well, we could melt up into October. That was the other outcome, I think, in 97. The other outcome was a melt up into a straight melt up into October 6th, I think, or October 9th, something like that. So I think that like it always comes back to price action in these situations. Whenever it's like indecisive or the market's hiding what it wants or it's going to do, the thing to do is to know where the major inflection points are. So we know where they are. We know they're up here. We know for sure, I can assure you, that there's an asshole. And this is a time thing. Like if it takes until like fucking Wednesday or Thursday and we're not up here, 743 becomes the sell point. If we make it up here sooner, 746 is the sell point. Because it's a descending line of resistance, right? Showed you that on the Webull chart earlier. Let me just bring that back up over here. So this is descending here. You can actually see where they are. That's the wick right there. That's the one. And they sold it there. They sold it here. Now this thing is descending. Do you see as time passes, it descends? So like even this guy that was saying, like sell everything. I'm like, fuck no, you're long to here. If we break out and start running, you stay long. But the bigger thing here is like you're going up, and do we look above or not? and wherever those that daily and the weekly is, does this hold for us to go higher? Now the gamma is the gamma right now is showing this even deeper move down here, but I don't like that move. I don't like it into the close on Thursday. I don't like waking up on Monday. I don't even know what that was. It just popped up on the screen. So you can't count out the bulls here is my point. You got to be long here. You got to have the exposure. And I don't think it's good enough to say de-risk here. I think you have to be risk on, and then I think that if we roll, then you start de-risking. Because what you don't want to be is you don't want to be trading this without the roll. There's plenty of room down there, plenty of places to make money down there, plenty of time to reject. You put a candle here, you put a candle here, and then all of a sudden you got a low, a new low. Plenty of time to take that fucking trade down there. And what you don't want to do is you're like trying to time this roll, or I'm risk off. And what do? They rip it over your face, they bring it back down, you're like, oh my God. And then before you know it, you're getting taken to the woodshed. And that's what we did in 2 of the 3 instances in 96, 97, 98. So this is actually on the side of the bulls. You just have to be, if you're a bull, you just have to be cautious of when we go up there to that 76 area, depending on the time. If I was following Elliott Wave, the way is actually lower. The way is for a failure up here and to go lower. But even with the Elliott Wave is like a racer gang. So if I put it all together, I would say it's indecisive. And I would say that like what these fuckers from the street are saying is wrong. I would say to you, you still need to get the rejection. You get the fucking rejection, we can start talking about that thesis. We don't want to be doing any eraser gang and we're just ripping faces off into July 18th or something. Your count is blown the fuck up because you're short and you didn't get long because you were afraid. What I said to you today is the truth. You literally cannot sell this yet. You have to go up to that mark and see if there's rejection or if the buyers are stronger than the sellers. I mean, it's simplifying a lot of shit, but it will matter when we come into those new month flows and we get back from vacation. If we're up here on vacation, like we come back on a Monday, come back this Monday and we're doing shit like this, we're popping up, we take that fucking thing out, we come down like a Monday, Tuesday, I can assure you right now they're going to buy fucking calls on that trade. Assure you, even down here. They're going to buy calls. If they reject this, though, and they get down here and this bullshit into that Monday, Tuesday stuff, all of a sudden you got a new low on Monday, they're going to get all bared up and start fucking raining hell down in the market. So I don't agree with the sell everything, oh my God, fucking rain is, the world's going to end, all that kind of stupid shit. And it's going to be like the bad one. I think you should be very cautious or conscious of the squeeze that's the vol up spot up trade. It's here. I assure you it's here. Now, it doesn't always pan out. Volatility doesn't always mean vol up spot up. Most of the time it means vol up spot down, but I just showed you earlier today 2 examples where we went vol up spot up in this same pattern, same fucking trading action, literally almost all of it the same. 80-90% of it the same. Even the conditions we were in at that time period were the fucking same. Same playbook, same bullshit. Let's watch closely and see how this works, if they can hit this one or if they just sweep them at the top. I am trying to get calls long for tomorrow. I haven't bought them yet. I haven't opened them. You know where I am. I'm down here. I'm looking for a sweep lower from now into the close. If I can get it, I'm going to take it. If this thing leaves me behind, it goes up here, closes up there, that's fine. But I'm down here waiting. So that's all I've got on this stuff. Does that make sense? Yeah, I think that's it. Sometimes I get left behind. Sometimes sometimes I can't take that trade. Right now, I can't take it. I'll even raise this up a little bit right here. Right there. It's like right to that mark. Half hour is still up here. This is where the red bars are above my head. That's where this half hour is. I like it's so hard when I see these crosses. They can be explosive upside moves, but we also like there's no edge here. Like they will plunge this fucking thing the moment this thing crosses, and then that's the actual dip buy. So I'm gonna err on the side of patience and say to myself, you know what? If we get an attraction to just check this, that we're supposed to go higher, I'll be down there waiting. It's something similar to this right here. You're just patient, just waiting. And of course, they shanked this. Like, hey, we can't go down there, but we did, didn't we? So let's just watch this closely here. And we also put up this this half hour trigger so you can see it. Put that down here so you can see that. It's, what would you call it? Fuckery, maybe? I can't blame him for wanting to take that trade up there. I can't. Zero dates, maybe? And I don't even think you need to hit this. You could even just fail this. That's 741 and a half. No, it's not a half. 741. I don't even like that. I like this, the 7042 and a half up here. Right there. Even if it's after the bell. Kind of like that. They did something funky like this too last week. There was a close that we had where we needed to hit a number. They didn't hit it until after the bell. I was fucking furious. We did hit it afterwards. There's two moments last week where I was in a conversation with traders about this is like an old school like trader argument. I don't want to call it an argument. Traders will ask themselves, do you count cash market and after hours or not? Like, because the official prices are from cash market on SPX. But they'll ask me questions like, do you count the after hours price action? And back in the day, I used to never count cash market. Past 3 years or so, past year or two. I don't know if it's been 3 years. Past few years, I want to say I'm gonna don't hold me to 3 years, but what I've noticed is there's a lot of traps taking place between like 4 and 6 p.m. More frequently than ever in the past, where the market's trying to hide where it's going to go. It infuriates me because it fucks with the with like projections because of the actual closes in cash markets when you're plotting out your week. Like, did we actually hit that target or not? Are we going to sweep back up now in regular hours? Like if we don't hit this right here in cash, they'll sweep up and hit it after the bell, and they'll come back for it again in the regular cash market afterwards. So they're kind of using this this time period to like we didn't hit our mark, we didn't hit what we're supposed to hit, and then they do hit it the next day. If they try to, like, after the bell, instead of saying, hey, whoops, you missed your mark, so you should roll, but then they hit the mark at between 4 and 6. That scratches that out, and then you're like, okay, now we're waiting to go up into the open the next day to actually hit the mark. I don't know if this is making sense, but I probably need to think about how I'm wording this. Some of you understand what I'm saying, but the manipulation is going strong in the after hours. Best way to say it. Or not hitting a mark in the cash market and then being bearish, let's say, because you didn't hit your upside target for continuation, but then they sweep it down into the bell. So you're like, oh, fuck, we missed it. Window's closing. And they hit it after the bell, and they swoop back up in the beginning of the next day to do it. And the Bears are all fucked up. They're getting their shit pushed in. Same thing for the Bulls too. This manipulation is taking place frequently, and right now nobody's in the pool, so this market can be moved easily, and dealers can do things. If no one's moving the market when the dealers are here right now, the dealers will attempt to like kill the market all day long and then move price quickly at the end of the day. And they'll try to do it in the after hours and beginning of the day, that kind of stuff. First half hour we're open. So there's like a double-edged sword in that no volume in the market, where we can move really fast. Retailers can come up and amplify those moves, and then also if the retailer's not there, the dealer can kill the trade all day long. And you guys ever trade like holidays? You'll grind all day long and then squeeze end of the day and like make big up moves or down moves. It's very common in light markets. All I kept thinking to myself at that point was, I wish I had $1 billion. I would run this market. It'd be a threat to our U.S. markets. I'd be like fucking SoftBank. Be fucking in here. I'd be in here dicking around. Like a weekend like this, I'd be in here. I'd ramp this fucking market right in their faces. It'd piss off some hedge fund out there somewhere. It'd be investigated and thrown in prison. That's happened. You guys all know that. You're sure that an admin doesn't want the Americas 250 to be bearish? I'm bullish. I'm long, so don't hang me. Don't crucify me. Like I'm long here. I'm not long on zero dates, but I have calls for the 6th, I think, whatever Monday is. I got July, fucking end of July calls, and I want to get 1 dates here. So I'm not giving it to the bears yet, to the sellers. No fucking way. And they spun that whole story last week. They were like, hedge funds sold everything. Banks going risk off. I guarantee you there's a trader working for a bank with his hand on the fucking sell button waiting for 746. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm saying that's bullshit too. I just met with a fucking I met with a guy who's working for a hedge fund now, and he asked me some questions. Hedge fund told him how they systematically trade. My face melted off when I was told that. I actually can't not believe it, but I was shocked. And they weren't under a charter either. They're just like trading a system, and the system was a fucking disaster. I'm like, wait a minute, they do this and they do that. So I was like, you gotta be out of your fucking mind. Maybe they did all sell last week. I wouldn't have been selling. I would have been selling fucking at 746. You got to go to these places and sniff out what's really going on. That hedge fund loses money out of their fucking ass. It's so crazy. I can't believe that. It's because of fees, man. These fucks don't give that. Like, these guys don't care. They're not the best traders in the world. Some of them are like individuals, but a lot of these fucking like professional traders, they're not as good as you think. Or maybe I don't know. Maybe some of it's middle management, or maybe it's too many fucking hands in the pot or something. I'm not exactly sure. Fuck they're doing, but they're not as good at. They put their pants on just like you and I do, and we are more nimble than they are. Being a retailer, you're more nimble. You can actually do this stuff. Let's be patient here. See if we can get a little bit of a downstroke in here. We can get a little bear booyah in your face, bull. Let's go to a 5 minute. Let's go to a 30 minute really quick. See something down here. A little 30-minute right here. That's kind of where I am right there. 30-minute bear raid. There is also, if we're going to rip the bell and not go down there, let's just take a peek at that. Yeah, they're in the same place, like right here. It's that 5-minute right here. So this is where we should be. Anywhere down in here. We're just looking for anything to get long for tomorrow, right in here. Make sense? Somewhere in here, look for a turn. Anything they want to send our way down here. I don't care about that. I just care about buying a dip. We also have the cross coming up here. Anything we can buy down there. I was like, there's something wrong with this book map. Because it's not on fucking ES. It was on SpaceX. Give me a second here. That's pretty low down there. You see that? Some reason I can't load it right now. I need more data from this morning, and I can't get it on there. Sorry about that. I'm having issues loading data here. Bookmap trying to tell you that we have to hold this 5-minute in here. We're getting close. I'll draw these in, see if any of this helps. We just want to watch further down, and then if we can catch the turn higher. Get that cross coming down there. We're trading 7432 right now. 7425 on SPX is a nice place to buy a dip here too. We're almost coming into it. Very close. See what we got here. 746. tomorrow is 39 cents, dirt cheap. 748 is 17 cents. That's way out of the money. I think I'm going to start a position on 746 here. Long here, 746 for tomorrow. Small position for 40 cents. If I have to, I'll add on a downstroke. I'll just start putting 10 packs on. Yeah, I think I'm with you, Super Gals. Like, when Morsh had his first, hang tight, guys. When Warsh had his first meeting, I thought he was very wise in what he was saying and talking about. And then it matched a lot of what Moran was saying in his white paper. And the rate of inflation is not as not as bad as you'd think it is for why they need it that high. The debt is fucking monstrous. The debt needs to come down. There are, like, I try to talk to bears about this, and I can't. For some reason, it's like I don't know why the bears won't agree with this. I don't know why. Because they're like, look at the debt. Just look at the chart, bro. It's not. You're like, it's like the bears are like, look at the chart, and I'm like, yeah. They want this. Like, you're telling me to look at the chart for the debt. They're spending. They're going to continue to spend. Trump's going to fucking spend right into his midterm. They all do. It doesn't fucking matter who they are. Like, these guys don't fucking care. It's like spend. And of course they politic that they're not going to spend. And it's not. They're all guilty of it. It's shocking to see, like, I don't know. It's shocking to see, like, up 48 cents right now. You know, and I used to not know this stuff. I followed Wolf Richter for so goddamn long. Like, I read all the shit. I contact him. I ask him questions. He sends me back information. And then I started taking it seriously. And then now I'm afraid that he's not too old, but I'm always like, it's kind of like Larry Williams. You don't know when you're going to lose those guys. So you try to, like, pick their brains for everything that they have. And they're willing participants in that. They do have a shine for the retailer. And when I started looking at all the data over time and able to figure out from his perspective, trying to be a student of his, trying to, like, take the data from the Fred on my own, and then reading him afterwards. That's what I do now. I normally will, like, get the data and I'll say, I think it's this, and this. And then get Wolf's take on it and see where I'm wrong. I missed this. I fucked that up. I fucked this up. I'm actually at a point now where I'm going to start charting it on my own with, like, the stock charts. Or white chart. Is it white charts I think he uses? But he does his own graphs. And I was like, well, I'm going to start doing that. And the reason I'm saying this too is because when I was able to start looking at the data, I sent him a question one day. I sent him an email and I said, man, I was like, I was looking at all this fucking data with like the industrial center build outs and the machinery building out and then the data centers and all this other stuff. And I was trying to, and he like shits on everybody. He shits on Republicans and MAGA and Antifa and Democrats, and he shits on everybody equally. And he always tells people in his audience in his chat, he always tells them, that's politics, that they're diarrhea in your ear, or that's manipulation of data, social media diarrhea, all kinds of, he calls it social media BS, or then he'll be like, he'll even say it. He'll be like, that's, Wall Street Journal BS and Bloomberg BS, all that kind of stuff. And, I asked him once, I was trying to like think in my mind, like when did we make the decision to start building out our industrial base in the United States? Like, what did it take for that to happen, and the time it took, and the meetings of the minds, and then the bigger meetings of other minds, and then when like you can track it all. Is my point. You can like literally see this happening in a time frame that's surpassed many political regimes. I'll give you a prime example. The data center build out is fucking vertical. And over this weekend, I was reading front page. Actually, it's grown over the past 3 or 4 weeks, maybe even 8 weeks, where there's outrage over data centers. And there's like leading headlines about, hey, there's a data center in, Timbuktu nowhere, United States, that was canceled or delayed. And everyone's cheering, woo! But what nobody's doing is they aren't fucking just going to the fucking Fred and showing you that it's been built out. Like 2/3 of it, maybe 3/4. It's done. So like when you're Bob on Main Street, they're like, here, bro, here's your fucking pitchfork. Get mad. What they're not telling you is that they already did it. It's already done. It's not like they're giving you the fucking pitchfork before that line goes straight fucking up on building those things out. So you get mad and you're pissed off and whatever, but it's already done. And you're under the impression that it's not done, but it is. And like some of this stuff is like the same with the industrial stuff, right? Well, we sold ourselves out. We're a service economy. But if you look at the data, we're doing the build out right now to be the manufacturer, be the industrial center. We're whipping our allies into shape, right? We're the GDP being spent on national defense is because of China. It's clear as fucking day. It's like the real data says something different. So the reason I'm saying it to you is because it all comes back to wars, and presidents spend, and I think the wool is over all of our eyes when you think about the idea that ultimately over time they're all doing the same fucking thing, and it's like it's all in service of what? Capitalism. Let's be honest, it's what it is, right? We have economies, like a new economy, an old economy, and we have the governments to serve them and service them. And sometimes they're right and sometimes they're wrong. Some of those economies, some of those governments to serve those economies fail along the way. Some need to be adjusted, changed to adapt to that economy to be successful. China's a great example of that. Whereas the USSR collapsed. And China pivoted. They did a great fucking job. You can't say they didn't. So, my point here, the greater point here is that we create and form governments to service these economies. We have a new economy starting, and you can literally see it happening in the background in the Fred data. And you have to question, when do we make the decision? They never told you about it. They never told me about it. They tell us other things, right? You hate that person. I hate that person. Nope, I'm supposed to now hate that person over there. I'm supposed to want to like fight with each other while all this stuff is actually going on. There's like a symphony in the background. It's going on. And no one ever wants to talk about it. I heard an argument this week in where I live about how the Detroit industrial base is fucked. And I was like, that's bullshit. I was like, they're building industrial build-outs all over the Midwest right now. I'm assuming it has something to do with China. If we do go to war at some point, this is the center of the United States. The Rust Belt is being brought back, literally. You can see it. If you drive around these cities, you can see it in the background. The money is being spent. The data shows the money is being spent in this stuff. Same thing with electric and atomic energy or nuclear power. Same thing with your electric. If you guys seen the electric rates in the Fred, it's insane. It's like vertical. Or where they tell you you're not going to pay for the build out, that's a lie too. You're paying for it. I'm paying for it. It shows in the electric rates. Hold on. Sorry about that. Damn it. I'm losing my stuff here. Here, let me show you guys. I mean, this should piss all of you off. It really should. Like, this should actually piss all of you off. Let me show you guys something here real quick. I mean, this isn't even fucking funny. This is the consumer price index for all urban electricity in the United States. This thing is on a fucking tear. Like, you have a trend, and then you have a breakout. You see this? It's near vertical right now. This never comes back. You know, like gas goes down, oil goes down. You should be screaming about this right now. Like, your oil and your gas can come down. It's a commodity that comes up and down. Electricity does not. It like goes up. It always has. Like brief moments it'll come down, but it stays in trend over time. It's not like you're paying $2 for fucking gas 20 years ago and today, like which we have, right? $2.50 or something. I've seen $2 decades ago. So we don't see that in electricity. So this is happening, and it's after the fact, right? I mean, you're bitching and whining about your electricity going up, but you're not seeing like the full reason why. You start looking at data centers. I'm going to show you data centers. Look at this one here. This shit's insane. This is data center starts. It's going fucking vertical. 0.5 billion, 4 billion. It's literally going vertical. Like, absolutely fucking vertical. If you want, you can take this off for a sweep lower. I am long. One date's for tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to leave them on yet or not until we touch this thing or reject it, but just be aware of it. We can still come up here, reject this, come back down, then squeeze up here. So I think that we're going back to like this whole Warsh thing is like, is Warsh going to do this? Is Warsh going to do that? I would say too that, like Supergal said, it's not just the 250th anniversary. I think his last speech at his last FOMC is very like, he's like, I don't talk to the president. Did you remember he was like, I don't talk to the president, or I try not to, or no, that's what he said. He said, oh, you guys caught me in a public meeting having brunch with Bessent, who's the fucking president's right-hand man. There's a white paper that Moran put out. Just type in Moran white paper. You can read it. And he does say that there's a bunch of danger in what they're doing right now. But at the same time, what did they say they were going to do? They're going to ramp fucking inflation. They're going to take short-term loans to pay off debt. Basically, it's the pencil story I do to you all the time. So, like, do you get the Moran, like, oh my God, Moran's gonna do a tightening cycle, like Moran at the at this meeting on Wednesday? Is he gonna like announce some kind of like tightening, or probably not? Probably not. He wants to run it hot too. I think there's a symphony going on in the background, and they keep us all kind of occupied with shit while they're going to do what they fucking do, whether we like it or not. And it's either going to be painful or it's going to be painless. I think I've spoken about this with like immigration. Gore took a bunch of people out, illegal immigrants. He removed tons of them, on pace for what we've removed in this country this year, right? And there was no stink about it. No one cared about that, did they? You didn't hear Democrats whining about that shit. So when I think about this stuff these days, the longer I've spent reading Wolf and figuring this stuff out alongside him, the more pissed off I become and think that nothing we're doing matters. It's literally, it's going to happen whether you like it or not. You're either going to get it with a spoonful of sugar with your medicine, or you're going to get the medicine shoved down your throat, one way or another. It's fucking frightening. Not in a bad way. It's just, I find it frightening. And I also find it frightening, like what we don't know, or it's not a topic of conversation. Like the U.S. is most definitely positioning itself to no longer rely upon manufacturing out of China. And it doesn't mean we don't continue to get things from China, or we don't not have we don't have a war. But at the same time, the U.S. is positioning itself for that. You can see it with Panama. You can see it with Venezuela. You can see it with Iran. You can see it. It's clear as fucking day. Yeah. Anyways, we'll get off that topic. Back down to 50 cents right now. 746 C's for tomorrow. If we begin to lose in 1 minute, we can close them out if we really need to. We can buy them lower. Right here. Let me see. I've got something here from Nomura too to read to you guys. When did this come out? Was this today? Nomura? Okay, I'm going to read this to you here. I got a lot of light on me right now, huh? Let me read this to you here. Lots of cross-asset questions that are kind of LOLing me at this point. He writes this. He says, leaving you a simple concept below ahead of block leave. Best to all, time to defrag my brain. So he's going on vacation, and he leaves a note for us, right? Lots of cross-asset questions that are kind of LOLing me at this point. Idiosyncratic AI zeitgeist, quote, evolution, end quote. hyperscalers as the funding shorts equals can't hold up the broad market is why stocks are struggling, which is the theme of my full note below, and nothing to do with any sort of concern about 50 BPS of hypothetical Fed hikes. I'm with him on this. Like 50 BPS of Fed hikes doesn't mean shit. It's bullish. Like outside of a knee-jerk reaction, Fed hikes are bullish. We are in expansion. Period. End of fucking story. There's no arguing it. There's no opinion on it. It's what we are. It's what we're in. The facts speak differently than that. We're in expansion right now. If we're cutting, it should be what? The economic data is bad, right? And he says nothing to do with any sort of concern about 50 BPS of hypothetical Fed hikes or, Lord forbid, any sort of recession pricing. So he's telling you already, I'm going to give you some information. And he's like, it has nothing to do with the zeitgeist of like Twitter or the white paper bullshit that you read everywhere or the spin on Washington Post or the fucking bullshit from Bloomberg or the bullshit from CNBC and all this other shit. He says, while too ironically peak hawkishness last week, post-Fed has only since further moderated, less hawkish, more dovish, as crude continues to be rinsed. Since the acceleration of the Iran deal 2 weeks ago, plus a constructive round down in the PCE print yesterday, which has the Fed into substantial CTA trend risk management buy to cover, in legacy signal shorts and bonds and stirs, with the underlying macro catalyst behind the price reversal being the cutting of the inflation tail, worst case scenario post Iran, then repricing of global CBs into less hawkish footing. For the purpose of this note, however, and despite the Micron biblically blow-up print, fuck yeah. Oh my God, I made money in that goddamn trade. Thank you, doggone it. And I made money in the puts, spy puts, whatever. So fucking stupid. Hold on. For the purpose of this note, however, and despite the Micron biblically blowout print, megacap tech couldn't prop up the U.S. equities market by the close yesterday, while Korea got smoked overnight. Profit taking turned slop SOS. So my observation continues to hold. And he says, the U.S. stock market is currently chopping itself into pieces and unable to make new all-time highs without the participation of the Mag 7 cohort. Now, before I read anything else in this note, you know, I hear this often. Market can't make new all-time highs with the participation of TMT. And my point is, well, what do you need them to participate and then I get long and then you sell into me? So if they're not participating and you need them to participate, you want to be looking for the lows to buy on that participation. And if we're looking at the first internet bubble build out, you really don't give a flying fuck on pullbacks. You literally fucking just know that you have to bluff velocity every once in a while, right? Once a year. You also know that you're going to hit volatility pockets. So you could have a 10% pullback or a 5% or something, even in that year, because of the gains that we're making along that fucking way. The gains are monster. So if we don't have the participation of Mag 7 or TMT or fucking AI, whatever the fuck it is you want to call it, and they're all down or whatever, you still want to be scooping those fucking things up because this fucking thing is going to rip. It's going to fucking moon. We're in an inflationary environment. Means wealth effect. Wealth effect is not that you're wealthy, it's that your money's worth less. We're not in a tightening environment. 50 BPS is not a fucking tightening environment. And if that's the norm, where we're restrictive, and we might even have to become more restrictive, that is trying to slow down the expansion of all this shit. Now, you can make arguments that there's profit taking and that we're trying to get a nice fat low for their next fucking ER season, but like the question about their profitability and all that kind of stuff, that's all bullshit. It's all to what? Better gains, right? We go down, rip it up, go down, rip it up. We rotate and rotate and rotate. But ultimately, if you not get those fucking blinders on, we're in expansion. That's what it is. Employment's good, right? Inflation is not overly hot. There is risk of it becoming overly hot, but it's not overly hot. They want to pay down debt. Debt is out of fucking control. We're still running a deficit. You haven't gotten through the midterms. And so he goes on to say, and in this case, more specifically, the, quote, hyperscalers, end quote, therein, which are collectively 16.4% since the end of May. In fact, the hyperscalers have not made a high versus equal weight S&P 500 since October of 2025. Google, Amazon, Meta, Misfit, and a dash of Oracle as a tweener, but with legit cloud biz and CapEx spend, while stripping out NVDA cloud platforms. Oh, no, excuse me. While stripping out NVDA from Mag whatever. See, he says that. Mag whatever. I agree. You can call it whatever the fuck you want. They cycle them in and out, in and out, in and out. This is all the same shit as the goddamn 1990s. As they're ultimately on the other side as a GPU supplier, quote, AI enabler to the hyperscaler cloud platforms, which occurred around the same time in fourth quarter 25. That market began to get their arms around the idea that the AI trade was moving from these big spenders as the long AI proxies trade to now instead a place where the CapEx spend is greater than the precipitous cash burn, which is greater than the accelerated debt financing and increasingly likelihood to of major equities issuance as de facto overriders, i.e. selling calls on their own stocks, equals supply overhang, is now a substantial drag on these stocks, which are being accordingly punished and used as a source of funds by the market. I agree with that too. As a matter of fact, I got long on SpaceX, sold it, got long again, sold it, and then I got long again. And now I'm trying to sell options against it. I really give zero fucks if SpaceX, well, I mean, I care about when the market rolls over, like the bubble bursts, but until then, I mean, I can short that shit. I can sell options against it. I don't give a fuck where it trades. And to be honest, as long as they're holding that 135, 165 mark on SpaceX, I got nothing. I got no ripcord to pull in that shit. Sell options, get long, every dip buy. When it goes to a high, sell some calls against it. I can do that, even though I believe in it. And that is the norm for these IPOs. That is the norm. And that's the norm when we're rotating in and out of some of these AI stocks, right? You rip them to the fucking moon, then you sell a bunch of calls against them. It's just like Tesla back in the day. Is it going to moon again? Sure. Are we still in the bubble? Yes, we are. So just keep buying dips, keep cranking it up. And then once you get to this nice new high, you start selling calls against that shit. Matter of fact, I want to show you SpaceX right now because I was trying to sell some calls on it this morning, and I was like, we're not high enough yet to sell calls against it. In fact, so he goes on to say, and to now, instead, a place where the CapEx spend, blah, 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 is now a substantial drag on those stocks, which are being accordingly punished and used as a source of funds by the market. The leadership shift from the hyperscaler CapEx into the bottleneck AI enabler pockets. And I want to show you this here, which is I want to show you this right here. So I think this is kind of humorous, to be honest with you. You know, he shows a chart like this. He's like, you see this? Your hyperscaler free cash flow projection is straight fucking down to zero. Do you think this means anything? The answer is fucking no. It's fucking no next 12 months. No, it doesn't mean anything. This is like projecting fucking volatility a year out in January. It doesn't mean a goddamn thing. He's got the S&P 500 going out, and he's like, fuck this AI trade over here. And I can top line this for you. I can top line it for you. It's very simple. Nobody fucking cares. Literally nobody fucking cares. And nobody fucking cared in the 90s either. And they ramped this fucking thing to the moon. And there's money everywhere in the sidelines. You're going to try to fucking tell me that when OpenAI fucking IPOs that shit's not going moon? You're out of your fucking skull. There's more fucking money sitting on the sidelines that doesn't give a zero fucks about hyperscaler free flat cash flow projections. They just want exposure. You know, I don't like talking about this stuff. I don't like this show being about this. I was thinking about, I've talked about doing this, like doing like a series on this for wealth. I don't like talking about wealth on this show. The show is geared towards like a new or losing trader. And when you say these things, it can like alienate people. You know, if you're wealthy, if you're not wealthy, you may not know this, but if you begin getting wealthy, becoming some kind of wealth in your life, you know, there are people with money to burn. You know, you speak to a wealth advisor and you're going to do all the things that you normally do, whether they're managing it or you're managing it, they're managing it. But guess what else gets sold to you by a wealth advisor? Hey man, you want some time in some IPO stuff? You got money now. You got 2, 3, 5 million kicking around. Dump it into these IPOs. They can get you in at a good price. And it's not just a wealthy individual. It's like hedge funds, banks, all these fucking guys. Like all these motherfuckers have more goddamn money than you can think of. Tons of it. Unreported, not in the IRS. You know, like you hear like an engineer making 800 grand a year or something. Like there are fucking guys in the bond market, professional people in finance. They're getting bonuses for like 5, 10 million, 100 million a year. That much. And their payouts. These people they have to put their money to work. And so when you're wealthier, you tend to want to, you know, like, hey, I want to buy a supercar. Hey, I want to buy a supercar that how much do I need for that? Does it appreciate? I want to buy a watch that's actually I want to buy a Patek. What is it, Patek? I want that thing to appreciate, right? The Nautilus or whatever. Will that appreciate? What about some IPO stuff? Can I put my money to work in there? And it is that fucking simple. When you're looking at like a company like OpenAI that's going to fucking IPO, nobody gives a flying fuck about anything but buying that fucking IPO. This is the same fucking argument to some extent that was on sell SpaceX on the open. And I'm sorry, it just doesn't happen like that. There's like excitement and FOMO, and the market gets driven, and then these guys have to chase. That's what happens. And they can be drawdowns and stuff, but they're making the argument for like not only a crash, but the bursting of the bubble. He says, as I mentioned back in Q4 of 25, the market began realizing that the supply risk, both debt and equity, to finance the CapEx aspirations would painfully be paired with incremental rate of change downside inflection risk. The prior 15 years of virtuous demand from generational corporate buyback flows paired with de minimis issuance, which have acted both as a latent bid under the market hovering hundreds of billions of dollars of stock, shrinking the float of shares, as well as acting as a general equities-wide vol suppressor like synthetic long gamma to stabilize stocks. As buybacks tend to get most active into drawdowns. But in this evolved AI trade 2.0, the prior virtuous tailwind risks becoming a vicious headwind on this supply greater than demand inflection shock for U.S. equities index, as the Mag 7 buyback alone is 20 to 30% of the total. The second chart below shows the net negative supply demand impulse and tangible regime change. You know, let me show you this. Now, I'm not going to show it to you because if you have this already, just look at 2022. We had a drawdown from 145 to 150, but then we went up to 180, 190. We're now down at 140. But that doesn't imply that we're going to go lower than 140 because we actually went cranking in 23 and 24 to 180 and 190. We can do that again. The said phase shift and maturation of the AI trade at its core was, one, the hyperscalers, then everyone, then evolving as the funding shorts over the past few quarters, while two of the longs paired on the other side of the course, then became the beneficiaries of the CapEx spigots being opened full throttle into the AI enablers, the bottleneck trades. As hyperscaler AI aspirations required fierce competition for finite supply, access to semiconductors, memory, networking, and optical, servers, infrastructure, and power, in turn driving massive revenue and per profit curve pull forward for these new AI enabler market leaders. With our proxy basket of said bottleneck players is now plus 60.9% since March 30th. And then what happened? Equities rallied. How many quarters ahead do we begin to worry about the zeitgeist reversal risk of the AI bottleneck? So he's asking this question. When does this roll? And he's giving you a time frame. He said, is it a year? And that's not something for right now. Like, these companies, Anthropic has not IPO'd. There's a litany of others. There's at least another 2 or 3 biggies. There's another like 5 to 10 mid-sized companies. There's like shit tons of IPOs in as a whole that have not IPO'd yet. And there's a fuck ton of cash in the sidelines still. And retail has bought SpaceX, haven't they? And not just retail. Some are required to buy it. There's others that are required to buy it. And there's a lot of people that just want the exposure to it. And I think when SpaceX IPO'd, I said this to you specifically. Just jump on board, ride the train. You know, enjoy the ride. There are times when it's going to crash or it's going to go to zero that you can sell. But until then, what you do is you jump on board this train. There are some out there that'll say, I'll catch it when it comes back down to zero or whatever. I can give you that, but what else are you going to do with your money? You know what I mean? You ride this thing up. That's the Mike Burry argument. That fucking asshole. I like him, but that asshole right there missed the entire fucking run. I'll catch it on the downside, and I'll bet against it. And in fact, like, we're not in that environment right now. Imagine you're like questioning the end of this when we're in the middle of it. Why don't you start questioning the end of it when we start bursting the actual bubble? And then we should do that. We start losing the monthly trigger on S&P 500. We know that everybody's going to get dragged down. We know that recessions are in other countries. We know that the economic data is bad. We know the bubble is actually going to burst. We also know that on the internet bubble, what happened? Does anybody know? We rotated in and out of a bunch of different tech stocks. And then once the bubble really started ramping up at the end, every fucking tech stock out there went up. Qs went vertical. S&P 500 was slow to catch up. But eventually it too went vertical. Like, we literally saw like tech moon, like vertical, whipsaw back down, go vertical again. And then we saw SPX go whoop. So you're down here. This is where we are right now. I don't give a fuck if it's down here, up here, whatever. This right here we haven't done. That fucking thing. That's the point that I'm trying to make to you. And not only that, you got to also think about something else here. Which is, are we going to get bear raids? Of course. Happened all through that same thing. 20% drawdowns, 30, 10, 15. That wasn't the problem, though. The problem was you had to buy them. And eventually, it became an all boats rise type of a situation. So you're all freaking out about all that shit, and you're getting myopic, and you're getting fucking tunnel vision. And you're like, oh my God, this has been down for like months. I've been rotating out of this and into that and all these other things. You're missing the greater story here. And I think when you look at this year, it's pretty bullish, right? This year has been pretty good. Look at last year, pretty good. We have 3 white soldiers, right? Trade on those candles. If you haven't seen them yet, they're there. I talked to you about them earlier this year. We're bullish as fuck, even if it isn't printing at this moment. So you need to have that exposure. And this argument about like sell the market, all that kind of shit, and send it to the depths of hell, bubbles bursting, you're going to get run the fuck over. Or you're lying to me and it would have closed. Oh, sorry, bro, I closed my shorts. Yeah, bro, we're way the fuck up here now. Why were you telling me that? And for most traders and most investors, that's what you need to know. Has the bubble burst? No. Where are we in the bubble? I mean, haven't rolled underneath the monthly trigger yet. That's when I see the bubble bursting. I don't see the monthly trigger close to price either right now. It's not near price. The last two times in 2000, 2007, 8, or 2000, 2001, 2007, 2008, that's what signified the actual top. And every fucking roll since then, too, and every fucking roll before then, it's like 1897. So even though these guys bring this stuff up, for you and I, we can simplify it. We don't need to hear all of this noise. So he goes on to say, he says, how many quarters ahead do we begin to worry about the zeitgeist reversal risk of the AI bottlenecks trade evolution? Of course, we are not there yet. Thank you for saying that, Charlie. In light of the hyperscalers' ability to continue to generate such remarkable earnings growth in their core businesses, impressively at the same time, they have been increasing their growth capex. Yes, they have. While from the other side of the coin, these deals are locked and loaded for the enablers. But there are some signs of increasing agitation along the way, whether it being those first way back MSFT SATA comments almost as a trial balloon last November, soft balking on the perpetual CapEx race to infinity, to this week's news of Apple and Microsoft announcing massive price hikes, timed conveniently off the back of the Micron generational earning print on exponential demand for memory paired with 85% gross margins as a signal of the strains in the ecosystem. Along with the report out yesterday from the New York Times that OpenAI might delay their IPO until 2027. Yeah, might. Not will. Might. Which is a solid nod to the waning investor enthusiasm for big AI expenditure. The frictions are accelerating. So let me ask you this question. If OpenAI IPOs this year in Q3, does that mean we're back in this again? Is this whole argument dead? At some ever closer point, the issue of the prisoner's dilemma, type conditions behind the whatever it takes CapEx spending race to infinity from said hyperscalers will become increasingly tangible as the market begins to separate winners and losers. Because of all the negative feedback loop here that reverses the prior decade tailwind of no issuance, all buyback, and instead feeds into a new supply greater than demand regime. Stock issuance in the same time as two less buyback, which is currently behind the market, increasingly punishing those stocks. Let me show you that. So this is the argument that he's making right now. It's like the fucking, wait a minute. Where is it? Hold on here. Yeah, it's like the fucking bear meme. Just look at the chart, bro. That kind of shit. Yeah, last time I looked at this fucking chart was right here, and it went just like this. Up. Last time it was right here, it went up. And you got to think about this in the perspective of, is it built out yet? And you also have to look at this in the perspective of the people that are doing this. People that are IPOing these companies. You think they're not aware? Do you think that Microsoft is not aware? Do you think that NVIDIA is not aware? Do you think, OpenAI is not aware? Do you think that the VCs that are doing this stuff, they're not aware? They don't have smart people around them? So they can run this trade, or you can sell calls against the shit, the underlying that you actually own, making a bunch of bank, and then you get to the point where it's the tipping point, and all of a sudden you're back in the business again, telling everybody how awesome everything is. Everything is awesome. Do you think we're not going to finish the build out on this stuff? I'm hard pressed to believe that. Like, can you imagine, like, hey, bro, we with the last mile for that internet to the house in 2000, we're not going to lay the last of that pipe. I don't know. No one's going to use the internet. No one's going to use it for productivity. Meanwhile, productivity is going up. I read another story yesterday about Ford bringing in the graybeards because AI sucks. So what, you brought in a few people that are older? Well, how much you paying them? 100 grand a year? 500? 300,000? And the argument here is AI is going to be like fake, fraud, nowhere near where it needs to be. It echoes me of like the internet, the actual rollouts of the internet. It'll be decades before it's adopted. It'll be decades before it makes a difference. It'll be decades before it becomes more productive. I do business deals all the time, do real estate deals, fucking signing my signature across the internet. No meetings, no in person. I work with people today. I have people that work with me and for me. They live all over the fucking country and the world. Couldn't have done that shit pre-internet. Never. Said phase shift and maturation of the AI trade at its core was the hyperscalers then evolving as the funding shorts over the past few quarters, while oh, wait a minute, I'm in the wrong space here. Sorry about that. If hyperscalers' continued earnings growth is supposed to generate the spending, CapEx demand, which is the determining factor behind the enabler bottleneck stock, stunning earnings, revenue, profit projections, the market is going to have a few prolific come to Jesus moments along the way. I agree with that. It'll have come to Jesus moments, but it's probably not due to that. It's probably due to velocity. We push up too high and then we have to cool it off. Literally on every time frame. As hyperscaler CFOs will be under the increased scrutiny of lower stock prices and shareholder revolt, forcing tougher internal conversations about the pros and cons of the CapEx space race, which then can lead to a reversal of the current assumptions on the sustainability of the enabler rev and profit trajectories. I did post this in the Discord. He does talk about baskets of stocks. We've worked with some Nomura Systematic Equity Store, Opshell, Kate Walsh to tickerize these themes into tradable baskets. You can reach out to sales coverage because as of the overshoot in enablers versus hyperscalers is increasingly pushing towards levels of asymmetry that are then increasing reversal risk in these heavily grossed up market themes. Bottleneck, long enablers, and short hyperscalers legs. Standard stability, breeding instability crescendo builds this. Theme will be the location to watch for market sentiment inflection and gross leverage risk management strain. This sounds like bullshit to me. It sounds like pure unadulterated garbage shit. And I realize you come in and you're like ramping these fucking stocks to the moon, shorten them down as they IPO. Like the IPO, you ramp them up, you sell them down, or they IPO too high, you set them to depths L, then you ramp them to the fucking moon. It's part of the IPO process. But all boats rise at some point. I'm going to warn you, or at least I'm going to warn you of history. And history says that all these fucking stocks rise. They fucking rose in the 1930s. When we went into the Great Depression, everything went up at the end. In 2000, everything went up. Everything. They didn't get, it was a shitco. It didn't matter. You could throw a fucking dart at a board with a blindfold on and it didn't matter. Why? Greed. Fucking greed. That's what it is. Greed. You have to, like, nothing is going to pop this fucking bubble. No fucking enablers. No fucking, none of this. I'm going to get long here. Like, none of this matters. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the debt these companies are assuming. What happens is when we get to the top of that fucking bubble, that's when people will care. That's when people will be the companies will be put under the microscope. That's when we're going to shake out all the bad apples. The same thing happened back in the day with like, was it Netscape? Netscape, AOL, pets.com. They ramped these fucking things literally to the top. And then what happened? They were sold, right? People were selling their companies left and right, suckers everywhere. We're not there yet. Not until that happens. There will be a fucking bag holder, but it ain't today. It didn't start, the bubble didn't start bursting in 2025 in October. It's going to start rolling over and crashing, all that kind of shit. We have to get through the rest of this build out. We're not there yet. So that's the last note from Charles before he goes on vacation. Seems like he's bullish in the short term. And I really truly think that even if we roll down, I think in all outcomes, we're either going to start ramping, or in all outcomes, even if you sell July, it still goes vertical. And it ain't like a normal bull market. This ain't a normal fucking bull market where you have a crash for 20% or you have a tightening cycle for a year, 2 or 3. This is not that market. This is not a normal fucking market. This is its own thing. And I warn you that when they happen, they are rare. This is the kind of thing where people go back and say, I wish I bought Apple. I wish I bought Amazon. Why didn't you? Because they would have talked to me about this and that and all these other things. And, you know, in the same time when it came back down the second time, you got to buy it again. You can go back and read this stuff. You can go back and just type in like Amazon. You can type in like Amazon on Reddit and do the oldest fucking post. You can do a Google search. Reddit, Amazon, type in AMZ or AMZN, then go to the tools and type in a time period. Type in like 2007, 2008. See what the talk was then. And it's fucking same goddamn talk as today. They're gonna leave you behind. They're gonna leave you the fucking bag. You got to chase them up and to the right. And you should give zero shits about hyperscalers and enablers and all this other fucking nonsense. It means nothing. The bottom line to you is we're still in the bubble. Every one of these big pullbacks or drawdowns, you already know that it's the same people that own the fucking stock are selling calls against that shit, and they're going to buy that dip to go up again. Those smart investors know that we're not done here. So Miguel wants to know when the bubble's going to burst. I think we're in 1996 or 1997 still. I said it earlier this year. Dan Ives agreed with me. He said the same fucking thing. It could be multiple years. Potentially till the next election cycle for president. I think the midterms will count and matter. I think if the Republicans lose the midterms, we could take a big fucking hit to the market, but I think it's part of that bubble. A big ass argument, bubble popping. Nope. Trading sideways, grinding up. Looking to close the day on a high above. Look for a trend day up into 46 tomorrow. And then we'll start swatting at the market tomorrow and see if we can sell it together into our boy Warsh there on Wednesday morning. And from there, we'll find out if there's a dip to buy for over the holiday. And if we're too low, we'll start getting bearish when we get back from vacation. Be wary of the fucking spot up, vol up. Be wary. You did it 2 of the 3 times. Even if it resulted in a 20% down move, just be aware. They'll run this shit up, take every one of their fucking stops. He's selling fucking July just like we planned. It'll be fucking vertical. And we got targets of 8,000 on our map right now, on Gamma, on net. We've got a target of 8,000. Don't fucking believe these guys. These fucking guys are wrong all the time, like in major ways. This is good. I gotta show you guys this. Hold on a second here. This is outstanding. This is a good post. Okay, come down here with this. There, guys. I'll try to get this for you guys later. I'm going to lead this up for later. I want to show you this. It shows who's in market. Who's in market, why, and when they're in market. It's a good explanation. It's one of the better ones I've read. Here, I'm going to read this to you. Maybe I'll read it on the show. Hold on. Yeah, they're PM related at 4 p.m. close. Sorry, I'm looking at some on a trade here for the end of the month. They don't print until the fucking last goddamn. Sorry, I'm reading this note right now. I was gonna read this too, but I'm gonna get you the full notes with some charts and show it to you. Yeah, the price action is always in who supplies the other half. All I want to do is pop up here. Let's see, I took a stab here, stab here. Half hour trigger now crossing the daily trigger. Still on calls for tomorrow. We'll add if I need to lower. We flush. FR trigger also crossing on SPX on the hourly trigger, coming up into the daily trigger. Gap on SPX is only a third of the way there. SPY target 744.34. Gets in a FOMO land above it. I think I'm going to add more. Adding more, 746. Note that VIX 9-day still being crushed right now. No big upside moves in SPY, SPX right now. From 1051 until now, SPX volatility being crushed. Curve is in contango. Vol's crushed on the front end. If you wanted a comparable trade, look at the 18th and the 9th and the 22nd. We were closed that weekend, but the pattern should look similar to this. I'll show it to you. But this is what they're trying to set up right now. Trying to set something up like this right here. Watch my cursor. This is where we are. Push us up into this bell. Dump after. Put in a high in the morning. You see that high there? It's a 4-hour candle, so looking for that 4-hour wick. And then the failure to sell down into Wednesday. Or the chat with Warsh. At least that's the setup. So up into the bell, into the close. larger. Getting so much trouble here. I want to add more here, and I haven't. I was hoping for a flush in here. I'm not seeing it. Should I just get long right now? Add some more? I'm only at like fucking 30 contracts. Well, I was hoping for more of like, I was hoping for like just a plunge. Like just a quick little, whoopsie doops. And then we're up and out of here, but we're not getting it. And I don't know when this unwind comes. I got 30 on. I'm just fucking barcoding it right now. This little back piece right here, you just see this right here? I was hoping for like something over here, like some kind of a dump down here, but I'm not seeing it. No dumping, no 350. I don't know what that was there. Sorry about that. Oh, here we go. No, that's not enough downside. I need more than that. I already fucking bought 40 cents. No. 38's not good enough. Give me a dip. No, ain't enough, dude. I was able to buy some zero dates or one dates that'll be zero or one dates that are going to be zero dates on a close last week, a week before. That was really cheap. We were going to moon the next morning at like 4:12. They buried it 4:10 or something like that. And I was able to pick up really good calls, really cheap. I don't see him here. It's getting a little bit juicier. It's at 36 right now. I said 10, but I'm going to probably throw 20 on. Still haven't thrown any on yet. I need more flush. SPX up 1% in the day. A couple notes here. Top 5 buys. Lilly, LLY, MAUNP, Apple, and GE. Top 5 sells. Tesla, Meta, MU, Avgo, BAC. Your best Mag 7 buys. Apple, Microsoft. Biggest sells right now, Tesla. And then Meta next. Way is higher. It's tomorrow. Looking for a trade to 46. And looking to hedge into Warsh on Wednesday. Like Seagog. Oh yeah, Seagon wants to rip faces off. Yeah, slides. Yeah. I like SLDE right now. I like RBRK. I like A-Lab for a breakout. Fucking A-Lab trading 449.65. I've been trading that since the beginning of the bull run from when it was fucking nothing. We're at 36 cents right now and 746. I haven't added any here. I want to, but I want it to be cheaper. I'm going to put a stink bid in for like 15 cents. I don't know if it gets filled. I have a meeting after 10 here in the next half an hour. So I won't be here for like 4 to 4:15, but I am going to put an order in a stink bid. Low fill likelihood. Oh, I know that. I realize it's going to be a low fill likelihood, but if you can fill it, good for the day. I'm right back where I started right now. Even if we go up into this bell, I do expect it to whipsaw back down again after the bell, so just be aware of that. It might be after 4:15, but if you see any whipsawing in the overnight, I'm not like anti that happening. See like an early red overnights, and then it should turn green by morning. Ooh. Yay. There we go. Go up there and touch them. See if we can take this one out and this one out right here. I'd really like to see these taken out. Get up there. Go on up there. Go touch them. There you go. The ting. Number one. Ting, 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 ting. Two. Nope. Do we get the second one or no? That's pretty close. Fairly close. Take that one out. There you go. One ringy dingy. Two ringy dingies. And you got a three ring a dingy? Oh, you fucker. You fucking refused that one, huh? What a fucking asshole. God damn. I guess we'll take that, huh? On the day, we got the first daily in the candle in there. Now just have to take out 741, 40 or 73, and then we got to take out all these bad boys up here. Right at the fucking bell. Still long. It didn't sell. I'm long till tomorrow. We'll see what happens here tomorrow. That went from 38 or 36 cents to like 56 or 58 cents or something insane. I'm still long. I just want to see the print up top. All right. I'll see you guys tomorrow in the morning at 9:30 a.m. You have yourself a great afternoon. Thanks for sticking around today.